Jam! All right, what's your name?
Trahern Cook.
Trahern.
Yeah.
That's how you say it.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
All right, sounds good.
That's how my mom does it.
Well, then that's who matters.
I think so.
Okay, what do you do, like, artistically outside of Monti Rabbit?
Yeah, so I'm a painter. I'm a live painter. I'm an artist. I go out and do my thing everywhere, and then people find me and they say, "Can you do that somewhere else?" And I follow them and I do it.
That's perfect. And what do you contribute to Monti Rabbit?
Well, I'm part of the storytelling process. I'm going to capture Monti Rabbit visually with through painting, and then we also have kind of built the story around all of us collectively contributing what we think is like where we need to go, and I tell them whether it's good or not, and they have to do whatever I tell them.
Right. So you're the maestro.
I am. I'm very much the maestro, and they call me that. And if they don't,
maestro.
Then I get very upset. That may come up later in the interview.
And you throw paint.
I fling. I'm a flinger. They do that, and they go, and they get upset, and it's awful. But it does make for a better product.
And they bring it on themselves.
Thank you. Exactly.
It's not hard to say maestro.
Right. Is it that hard?
No.
No. Thank you. I'm glad somebody gets me.
So we have a little fun question sometimes, and I think everybody gets to choose what they want. And last time it was, what's your zodiac sign? This time I'm going to ask, do you watch Star Trek The Next Generation? And have you ever? And if you have, who is your favorite character?
Next Generation?
Yes.
Well, I have. It's not like The Next Generation, but that could be really old school still,
it's
though,
like,
right?
oh yeah, like it's not from the 90s.
Right.
Like Captain Picard, Riker,
totally
Troy, all those people.
Picard was like, for sure, hands down.
I mean, he's a good. Of course, you would identify,
right?
Because he's the maestro.
And I learn everything from him. Like he flings. I feel like he throws stuff at people, but it's like space age.
Right. It's energy.
It doesn't actually hit them.
It's energy.
It's made to not, it's made to not hurt, but it hurts their feelings.
He gets it. They get it. Whatever it is.
It was 30 seconds.
We started talking about Star Trek. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. What's your name?
Zach.
And what do you do outside of Monti Rabbit?
I play in another band called Easy Shakes.
Okay.
And I work a regular job. It's
right now.
Super fun.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
You're chasing your dreams.
Well, one day at a time. You just try and climb the ladder and
that's the dream.
Make it
to
the top,
dream.
working for somebody that you hate, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all you can ask for here.
I mean, we do what we can.
Yeah. This is when we would start talking about capitalism, but we can just avoid that.
Yeah.
We all know.
Yeah.
So, what do you do with Monti Rabbit?
I'm kind of like the maestro. I mean, I kind of put it all together. I've written all the material. I've kind of coached Tran on what to paint. I mean, he comes to me and asks me if it looks okay, and
like it's down to the color even.
No, not so much. I mean,
you let him have that liberty.
Yeah. I mean, color is one thing. Subject matter is another.
Right, of course. You potato. You don't.
I mean, he can suggest things, but it's up to me to.
It's up to you.
Take it or leave it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So they call you maestro then.
They do.
And you fling his paint when they call you maestro. When they don't call you maestro.
Exactly.
Right, that makes sense.
Or throw things from the stage, or.
Oh yeah. Okay, and how about the fun question is, have you ever watched Star Trek The Next Generation? And if so, who's your favorite character? And if not, do you want to come to our house later and watch it?
I have not watched it.
I think you'd be surprised.
Yeah?
Yep.
It's really good.
It's great.
Really good.
It's about consciousness and also space. I mean,
who's not
which
for
is the
that?
same thing.
Who's not for that?
It's great.
I mean,
yeah. Yep. All right. Well, thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome.
Hey, what's your name?
Hey, I'm Sean Thomson.
What do you do outside of Monti Rabbit?
I play in a few different bands. Post Timey String Band, Numbtongue, the Restoration when we're doing stuff. Just few people around town.
Cool. And what do you do with Monti Rabbit?
I feel like I'm the maestro in the
Oh,
band.
yeah. That makes sense. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do some keyboards and samples and
Yeah.
weird sounds.
And that's sort of how you dictate what's going to happen next, is with your weird sounds. on
Yeah,
the keyboard.
definitely. Yeah, the
Right.
samples kind of.
Yeah, it's like, get on task.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
samples
sense.
everybody. Yeah.
Of course. All right. Well, have you ever watched Star Trek The Next Generation? And if so, who's your favorite character?
It has been years. I watched it as a kid,
Yes.
as it was coming on, and we even got like the action figures.
Yeah.
For
You
Christmas.
still have them?
Actually, I gave them to Daniel for his little boy.
Oh,
A few
awesome.
of the action figures.
So that's the one I'm going to talk to Star Trek about more than anybody else.
You'll probably be here for a couple hours.
I'm so excited. Okay. Well, do you have a favorite character?
What was Data's cat's name? Was it just Spot? Yeah.
Spot?
Always like Spot.
Spot.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one. Good answer.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. All right, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Daniel Machado.
What do you do outside of Monti Rabbit?
I'm a musician in a band called The Restoration and some other stuff, and I'm a graphic designer.
Okay. What do you do in Monti Rabbit?
In Monty Rabbit, I play the banjo and the violin, and I'm theater adjacent.
That's awesome. That's a better answer than I'm the maestro.
Oh,
Were you going to say you were the maestro also?
I'm also the miser.
Oh,
I'm really unpleasant at all band practices. I like to impose a strict schedule
mm-hmm.
and make sure that we get a 15-minute break about every 20 minutes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good rule. So you're like, the relaxation maestro.
Yeah, I'm the maestro of misers.
That's that's awesome. All right, so we know apparently from the last one that you have watched Star Trek: The Next Generation.
That's true.
Who is your favorite character?
I mean, Data's great.
Yeah.
He wants to be human.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah, seriously. That's why he's my favorite too. He's like, I have a theory that everybody that's neurodivergent, Data's their favorite character.
That's a great
for real.
theory.
Because everybody's trying to be human and everybody's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this.
Do you remember the episode where they rescue that traumatized kid and he hangs out with Data for the whole
Yeah.
episode and he slicks his hair back and tries to look like him? Like, nothing on television resonated more with me than that episode of that child like trying to be Data.
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever that says. That was like the best episode of TV I ever watched as a child.
That makes me know you're a good human. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
We're here on this week's edition of Soda City Jams with Monti Rabbit. We're out at Trahern's house, out off a secret, undisclosed location. And we're just going to chat about the upcoming project. So first of all, I want to know where the name Monti Rabbit came from.
Good question. We're on Monticello Road.
Oh, well, you messed it up. I mean, it's an undisclosed
Oh,
location.
I know, right? I know. Just do
Too
it.
late.
All right, now it's
Okay.
disclosed. Full disclosure, we're on Monticello Road, but it goes on for I think it's 500 miles. So
Okay.
good luck
Then
with
we're
that.
safe.
And you're really going to look.
Get yourself a metal
There's-
detector.
I'm coming for you, man.
You can just Google it.
Yeah.
And then
right.
you've seen rabbits out here, I suppose.
Right. Well, we call this little
The rabbit.
section down there the rabbit hole. And
Right.
I think that's where we landed.
Yep.
I like
It
that.
was as simple
Stay
as
right down the street.
Cool. How did it start? You guys were just like hanging out?
More or less. Yeah. I mean, we were just kind of hanging out and, talked about working together at some point and
Yeah.
didn't exactly know what that looked like. You know, and being an artist and playing music, but,
It goes together, I mean, like,
oh, it totally
music and
does.
art, of course.
Yeah, it totally does. But just trying to explore that, what that would look like and stuff. And that was like 3 years ago.
Nearly 3, yeah, if not more. Yeah. So it's the first time we kind of messed around with it was like we would just bounce ideas off each other back and forth. We'd hang out in the studio, I think, and I was loving the idea of it because I just thought, yeah, man, I mean, to work with this dude, do something
Yeah.
cool was amazing, and And then I started hanging out with him and realized it really wasn't that great.
Well, but you were already in it, so it was too
That was already in. I didn't know how to break it to him and I had to get out of it. So after that, it was like, we'll just have to. I fooled you though, didn't I?
You did.
Like, yeah.
Now we just,
Then once you get over that first sort of fake idea of what it is to do something, then it was like, wait a minute, this is really cool. And now,
Even
honestly,
if you don't like the person.
even if you don't like a person, it still can be good. That's what I've learned.
But you like
And then the more we add people, the worse it gets. But I've learned though that it gets better creatively.
That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
So basically, you just use people.
Right.
I am. I'm a total user,
Me too.
and
We're
I'm
gonna
glad
die.
that I could confess that tonight. But out of that, I feel like as much as I'm using other people, they are learning from the fact of dealing with a difficult narcissist. So in a way, I'm giving back.
Spoken like a true narcissist.
There it is. Thank you.
Yes,
Merry
you're
Christmas.
welcome.
Yeah.
I see you.
Well, they're learning from us.
Right, that's
What have I learned?
I mean, at least from me, maybe not from you.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
So you moved, it was just two of you, and then you were like, bouncing things around, and then you were like, okay, who's another weirdo in Columbia that can hang out with us? And you were like, oh, Sean. And, that's the way that works.
What? So you're better to field that one.
So we planned this trip up to the mountains to go to this barn, and
I've heard tell of a barn.
Yeah, and so he and I had planned to do it, and as we were messing with the ideas and stuff, it just became apparent that we needed more. You know what I mean? Like something
We needed a
outside
musician.
of ourselves. You know what I mean?
Besides Zach.
Somebody who
It
could
became
really pull it
apparent.
together.
We needed
somebody who could
someone
really pull it together.
that could do,
Right.
Why'd you give it?
So
Yeah.
then you chose Sean. I mean, who was your first choice?
Well,
He was.
I'm just kidding.
it was a.
He
Of
was
course
a
it was.
I don't
beer.
want to talk about it, but
We don't talk about it.
yeah.
I mean,
So I called
you
him
need
and
a
he was
real,
like, he had no idea what was going on. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, hey, you want to be a
It's a
part
blank
of this thing? It has to do with yada yada yada. And he was like, sounds really interesting.
Yeah,
Sure.
I
And he was
know.
like, I'll
He
just
didn't
bring
say
a bunch
no.
of instruments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was
So we went up
cool.
to the mountains and he brought a handful of kooky
Yeah.
assortment of instruments. And
That seems like that fits.
It's like y'all didn't really tell me what you're doing. You just told me to bring a bunch of weird shit to the mountains.
That sounds amazing.
But I got some weird shit.
you know what?
We still haven't told him what we're doing.
I mean, I think it makes it more pure that way. Probably.
Yeah, right.
Kind of like how vague we're being now in this interview. We don't really know, and we won't really know until the 24th.
I have no idea what we're doing. So
If only
That
we
makes
had a
it so
maestro.
great.
I dig
I know
it.
it sounds like you guys need somebody to,
We need somebody to
direct
pull
you.
it
What is that?
together. A
Is it a
maestro.
maestro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Hence,
maestro.
hence,
Hence?
enter Daniel.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
you need
Sean,
somebody.
so then Sean said, you guys don't know what you're doing. And I don't know what I'm doing. I have a dude that might know, might
What
be
we're
able
all
to
What
kinda
we're doing.
steer this thing.
Right. So you're at the helm.
No.
Mostly. Mostly. In all actuality, he is the one that has really wrangled everything and pulled all the loose ends in
Right.
because of his theater background and, having a desire to make it understandable to the audience.
Right.
Which
So-
is something that wasn't one of our strong points.
Right.
I was like,
So this is sort of like it's a story. It's a beginning, middle, and end story, and you guys are maybe all characters, or you're telling a story with your instruments and with your art, and you're like the narrator without being a narrator. You sort of like guide the story and where it should go.
In the performance, I do get to do a little bit of that framing. But there's a great story that they've come up with, and the story is present in the songs and the lyrics. But something that I've kind of enjoyed doing for a little while is trying to find ways, whether or not you release a little book or a map or something with your album, or something like that to try to find ways to get an audience to pay attention.
Make it interactive.
Realizing there's something to look into there, and that hopefully there's, like any great songs, and that is the case with these. There's room, you can just find yourself right in the song. You can plug it into your own life, so that it works on that level. But there's also a great story that they've come up with that's a start to finish story.
Oh
So
yeah.
trying to find a way to make it impossible for an audience to miss that.
Right. So each song independently is, applicable to, it's just a standalone song, but then they all work together to create a larger story that's kind of like obvious.
So it's a rock opera.
A rock opera is,
Kinda.
yeah, it's a rock, that's what they decided on calling
It
it.
is. It's a rock opera.
Yeah.
Daniel, would you say you were more of a song whisperer?
Ah,
Well, the songs were all done. As far as this act that we've been working on, and yeah, it
and you came
and
in
the
to
song,
sort of
they already
stitch
had an order, they already worked, and they invited me to come hang out and start just kind of like seeing where I might fit. It was honestly, when I was in middle school, I think an art teacher, Miss Shepherd, somehow got me in this gig where for an entire school day, I didn't have to go to any of my classes. I just got to build a sandcastle in the middle of the library. And I remember students would come in and say like, what the hell is happening? And I'd be like, I don't know, man, they just asked me to do it.
Right.
That's awesome.
And
I mean, it's
that's
gotta be
kinda-
great to be that person.
That's kind of how I feel in this band, like I'm very flattered. And
We need to rewrite this shit and just build a sandcastle. Like that, man.
Like, forget the song.
Yeah, man. Build a sandcastle.
Did they provide all the tools and all that? Like, do they have interesting tools for some sandcastle?
all I had to do was show up. I think I got to just make it up as I went.
That's awesome.
In that case.
Right.
Anyways,
But here, you brought, they had these fully formed songs, and you sort of stitched them together in some sort of way.
really, this first show is a workshop,
Mm-hmm.
and we've all just kind of gotten together and talked about how does an audience who comes to that first show perceive what they're seeing?
Right,
How do they perceive what's happening?
right.
And we've all just kind of talked through, like, what are fun ways to, like, and of course, just Trahern's existence with building these giant pictures live.
Right.
Is that too much? Did I say too much?
I'll tell you, that sounds good, man.
Is that giving away too much?
Well, anything with like my giant existence.
Of course.
I'll take it, right? Because of the whole,
Yeah.
narcissistic thing. But, no, man, I appreciate that. But I think, I think what I hear and what I feel like is that, it's that each one of us have like this, there's no real driver as much as it is. We have a different perspective that we're bringing to a really cool story that we want to get out and tell a really cool moment.
So the four of you have each of you have very distinct personalities and presences, like all joking aside, not talking about narcissism. For real, each one of you has a real presence, and I mean, I feel it every time I'm around any of you individually. I just met you, but I've known of you, and so I know of your presence as well. And you all have that, and then you bring it together, and sometimes a group of people with individual presences like that is magic. It's kind of how you get like close to the truth in whatever way.
That's a great way to describe it.
But so on June 24th, it's like a friends and family showcase thing, workshop, see what is gonna really go down for the big show.
The big show, big preview show, because there's like another layer.
It's like an onion.
I know, right? We're getting good. But the first thing we wanted to do is present what we've got. It doesn't tell the full story, so the preview of the preview is basically going to be June 24th, and then we're so stoked to be playing Soul Fest, Roll Fest at Memorial House on August 24th, and that's what we're trying to like. We want to solidify the thing, make it cool, make it understandable, kick ass. Yeah. So we want, so the 24th is about getting feedback.
Right.
Because we can do it, and we can all really dig what we have going on. which was sort of like when Daniel came on, it's kind of like, how much of this did you really know, pick up on what's happening? And he said nothing. And then he's like, no, I get the part with the, the thing and that, and I get that. But what I didn't know that like there was an actual really cool story, and then he helped us pull it together.
That's so beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
I'm really excited for this. It's
Oh
gonna be so cool.
yeah.
No, I've never seen anything like that, especially not in Columbia. I've not seen. I mean, Columbia's got a lot of really amazing, interesting, unique musicians doing all kinds of interesting things, but like to incorporate, art like this is great with a full cohesive story. I mean, that's exciting. So you're painting each of these things, maybe, and maybe they go all together to depict whatever.
Yeah, I think of it almost like, you were telling them, it's like illustrating, a storybook in real time.
Right.
And that part is thrilling, because I'm getting to be like, I'm not a musician, but I get to
Still get to
act
be a rock
like
star.
one, be a rock star. That's all I ever wanted to do. And they were kind enough to be like, yeah, man, we'll let you do that. Good thing. But no, I really love that, and I think there's like that idea of the visual element being an instrument, because it's also like we're, in as much as that's a part of it, it was important that because I painted a lot of bands, so I didn't want to be separate from it. I really wanted to be in it, and jamming with these dudes and being a part of building the story.
That's how you incorporate your energy into it. I mean, like when a band plays together, the energy is obvious, it's all there, but coming in as an artist and you don't have an instrument, your instrument's your art, which is that's really cool, and it lends your energy to the band, and then that makes it even more magical, so in a different, totally unique way. That's a great idea. So Soulfest Rollfest is August 26th.
Yep.
And what start and end times? I mean, I know that it's a lot of
bands. There'll be a lot of they got an incredible lineup. So good that
they got us.
Yeah, that they got us. And that's how good it is. And,
has the lineup been released yet?
I don't think it has.
Okay, so we won't talk about it.
I don't want to completely, I don't want to speak out of turn. But yeah, an amazing lineup and amazing people. Just a cool experience. So I think I'd encourage everybody to come hang out. And what we're doing is obviously it'll be so. What's that?
Isn't ours in the evening or something?
Yeah, we're closer to the evening.
Okay.
Because we want it to be a little bit darker. We'll be in the warehouse. Other shows are gonna be outside, which is kind of cool. So it gives everybody a chance to kind of peruse and do both. And you got a coffee next door, and I think they're gonna block off the whole street. So
that's great.
it's gonna be a cool party, and just to be a part of that, and then to create something, offer something that's outside the box of what I think so many people will even would expect. Is like I love the challenge, because it's a little intimidating in that respect. But like, how do you introduce this?
Yeah, I mean, always doing something brand new is always kind of scary, but that's kind of like fun. So
Yeah.
It wouldn't be thrilling if it weren't a little scary. Is this going to be something that you work on and then like perfect and then do many different places, or are you going to build on it once you find I'm sure you have your stride already, but once you really can see if it becomes a cohesive thing, is it going to continue to just be built on, or are you going to try and perfect this 3-part thing and then go with it? You thought about any of that yet?
Well, I think the first, this what we're doing right now is the first of a 2-part thing. So as much as it's a beginning and an end, it's like a to be continued sort of thing.
Right.
So there's not like a
right.
closure for
Right.
what we're doing right now. But I
Maybe
would
the first
hope,
season of a series.
I would hope that we do the final version once we get all that together. And then I think we'll probably assess it. But I think I think it's got legs. I think it's going to be really cool. And I don't foresee any of us going like, hey, let's not see what happens with this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm through.
I think we want to pull it
I've
off.
made my commitment.
We're pulling off, you know.
Yeah.
And like, okay, we can do this.
Right.
It's excited. I mean, I'm so freaking excited to do it. But it's excited, and it's like every time we get together, it's like it's just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having a blast. So the idea of that carrying over and being able to do that multiple times sounds pretty awesome. But then it's sort of like, yeah, well, let's get the first one. Let's at least convince ourselves and others that this thing is actually is cool. As cool as it is in our heads.
Yeah. And I think what's really great, I mean, at least for me, is that each of you has a totally different sort of, maybe not totally, but a different approach to music and taste in music too. And so I think that each of your different tastes is going to really lend itself to some really great things together, you know, a diverse experience when it's already a diverse experience, because nobody's told me to do anything like that. I've never seen anything like that before. So that's exciting. I think I'm just as excited as you are.
Well, I'm so excited that you're excited.
That's so great. I'm so excited about that.
I'm excited that you're excited about.
Being excited.
I am excited.
I'm excited about your excitement, about her excitement.
That's exciting.
It is really exciting.
They're not. Are y'all not excited? They're not. It's so hard to get them to be excited.
I know, they're real chill.
They're trepidatious.
You think it's that and not chill?
I just don't want to talk too much.
Oh.
But
I mean,
no,
I
I
get that.
can
If I don't-
see the excitement.
Sometimes I have to
welling
be quiet
up
or else
underneath.
I will talk too much. But anyways, I'll stop talking. I don't
Well,
think
thanks.
anybody
Oh,
else.
and by the way, thank you for doing this.
Well, thanks
Y'all
for
are
jamming
awesome
with
because
us.
we.
Anybody want to say that with me?
I'm excited that you think I'm awesome.
Yeah, man. Amen to that.
All right.
On that note,
Yeah. Thanks for jamming with us.
Thanks for jamming with us.
Thank you.
thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Ooh.